What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we have a full body training session. Today we're going to hit some snatch complex, military press, barbell lunge, back extension, some chest flies, and abs. And throughout the video, I'm going to talk about my journey into strength conditioning, how I became a coach, how I got certified, and my experiences going through the process. Let's go! So usually for my Olympic lifts, I go all from the hang position, but now I want to start learning how to pull from the floor. So the complex is going to be a pull right above the knee, and then a shrug, high pull, power snatch, full snatch. So warming up right here with just 25 hours each side. All right, about to hit my first working set of the complex, and then I'll go into a little bit of my origin story of how I went down strength conditioning. I think like most strength coaches, there's like two main pipelines strength coaches go down. Either you're a college athlete who didn't go pro or decided to go to coaching after you got done playing, or you were like a PT or OT, but then you decided to switch to strength conditioning. And I'm on the second ladder of that. I only played sports in high school. 5'8" Asian guy is not going to play. Not many 5'8" Asian guys are going to play college basketball. So, I originally was going to PT school. I got accepted here at South. And then my senior year of undergrad, I had to do an internship. And I was a practice player for the women's basketball team here. So I knew the strength coach through that. I was like, hey, can I intern under you for college credit? And I thought it was going to be an easy internship, but like working with him every day, seeing that strength conditioning is a career that you can actually pursue, make a living out of, and get fulfillment out of was really cool. And I wasn't really looking forward to PT school. I really got into PT because my family kind of like pushed me towards it because they wanted me to be a doctor, typical Asian stereotype. But I was like, no, I don't want to do that. How about PT instead? Because I wanted to work with athletes. And so that was kind of like a compromise. But seeing strength conditioning as a field really gave me like identity crisis. And I had to really think about, do I want to like not go to PT school and start pursuing strength conditioning? Because PT is a lot more stable job-wise. Because like you get a PT degree, you're going to have a job. There's always need for PTs. Strength conditioning is a growing field, and there are some jobs that are like really good. Like you're only over like 1 to 2 teams, and that's all you got to deal with. But there's other jobs where it's like you're working like 50, 60-hour weeks over like 5 to 10 different teams. Sometimes the whole school, like you're the only strength coach for the whole school. So there's a wider spectrum of pay and work-life balance for strength conditioning, but I decided to go down that route. I'm more passionate about athletic performance rather than rehab. And as a strength coach, if you're good at what you do, you still work with rehab. Like you still work with the athletes coming off of injury. First set moved really well. So I did 5 pounds on each side. It'd be really good if I can get 135 for this complex. So let's see. Last at the bottom. When I finally made that decision to pursue strength conditioning, told my coach about it, my mentor, who I interned under, he was like, okay, if you're serious about this, go get your CSCS, which is it's a certified strength and conditioning specialist through the NSCA. It's like the National Strength and Conditioning Association. It's like the gold standard certification you want to have as a strength coach. Having that allows you to work with colleges, NBA, professional, high school, whatever. Like that's like the gold standard. There's another certification, but it's more like advertised as like for college strength conditioning. So if you're an inspiring strength conditioning coach or even like a personal trainer, CSCS is really good. It's really hard to obtain it. It's not like those certs you can just get off a bag of a cereal box. I think like this past year, the passing rate, because there's two portions of the test, to pass both on the first time, it was like a 30%. So that like my decision was made in May, or no, my decision was made in like around January, February. Like I want to do this, and then I studied for the test. I take the test in May, so I studied for like 2 to 3 months. And I passed it right before I graduated with my undergrad. So it was a really big high in life there. Got my CSCS, graduated college. So then continued my internship over the summer with my coach. Now that I have my CSCS, started delegating me more responsibilities. Helped him out with women's basketball, with track. He would give me my own little sessions to lead, and during like the big workouts, I would have my own group of athletes to run through the workout. So great experience. He taught me so much in and outside of strength conditioning. So that'd be like my biggest thing is if you're interested in getting into S&C, find yourself a really good mentor to intern with. Like don't just do those internships where all you're doing is filling water bottles, cleaning the racks, cleaning the floors, like doing like pretty much grunt work, and you're not learning anything out of it. Like really try to find a mentor who will pour into you and teach you instead of just using you for free labor. I missed the full snatch. I can easily do that on a regular day. I just lost balance at the bottom, so really gonna try to tighten up at the bottom and fully lock out and stay rigid so I don't lose my balance. But third set here, just gonna keep the same weight since I missed it. In terms of getting certified, getting the CSCS, if you're a undergraduate right now and you're majoring in like exercise science, kinesiology, the exam shouldn't be too hard for you. There's two portions of it. The first portion is like exercise science, so it's going over like the physiology, nutrition, and sports psychology. And then the second portion is more practical, so it's going to be like correcting form, looking at programming, just solving like real world problems with athletes, giving you scenarios and stuff. Like if an athlete has these testing metrics, what should he focus on, stuff like that. The second part of the exam is definitely going to be harder if you have no internship experience. So I would definitely recommend, if you're interested in becoming a strength conditioning coach, go intern, go being in a weight room, get that experience, talk to coaches. Because honestly, like if I didn't do my internship and I just studied the textbook that the test is based off of, which is like principles of strength conditioning, I'm not sure, you can look it up, but there's only so much you can learn out of a book. You know, just being in a weight room, being on the field with the team, with the coaches, you just absorb so much if you're like actively engaged in learning and have a good mentor. So shout out to my mentor. Really helped me a lot in that aspect. But yeah, if you're already like an undergrad majoring in exercise science related major, first part of the test should be fine. Even if you're not majoring in like kinesiology related field, like you could be a business major and still take the exam. I think that's going to change though. I think like in 2029 they're going to make it to where you have to be in a related major. So you do have to have your undergraduate degree. So you have to have your bachelor's degree, be CPR certified. I think those are the two requirements to getting your CSCS. When you pass the exam, you get your certification. But I'm about to go warm up for this military press. So yeah, if you're preparing for the exam, I definitely recommend reading the textbook front to back, every chapter. And then some YouTube users I watch to help prepare for the exam. Dr. Goodwin, he has a lecture video on every exam. And then Matt with the Movement System, he has a study group on Facebook, and he has a bunch of other smaller videos that explains important topics that are in the book that are tested. So definitely recommend doing that. Biggest thing that helped me was I took like hundreds of practice questions, Googled a bunch of practice exams, which a lot of them aren't as difficult as an exam is, but they kind of give you a feel of like the content you need to review. And if you want, the NCAA themselves offer official practice tests, which are I thought they were a little bit harder than the actual exam was, so it would prepare you. But yeah, you can definitely look into those sources, help study, because the exam is really expensive. It's like $400 to $600 somewhere in that ballpark. So definitely don't want to be taking it more than once. Do have to pass both sections in order to get your CSCS. But yeah, once you get your certification, after that you just continue to get more experience, continue to learn. In my instance, like I got my CSCS, and then I just continued to intern through the summer of my strength coach, and then I happened to get a GA position at the University of South Alabama, not through strength conditioning though. It was through the kinesiology department, so I was helping out with like the PE classes and helping out with the professors and stuff. So that allowed me to get my master's in exercise science, which I'm finishing up now, which is not a requirement to get into S&C. The bare minimum you need to get into strength conditioning is you need your bachelor's degree and you need your CSCS. Everything else is kind of just like extra, but some jobs do like prefer the master's degree if you're looking to work in collegiate settings. But if you know what you know and you're really skilled, then all those fancy letters by your name don't really matter. It really matters how well you coach and how knowledgeable you are and how well you connect with athletes. Definitely need a passion for sports, and it's not like a job that you just do because it's like, oh, sports are cool. Like you have to like love sports. Like there's a lot of inconvenient hours. Like you're working up at 4 in the morning to get to a 5 a.m. session, and then you might have like a 2-hour gap. You have another session at 12, and then a few hour gap. You might have another one at 3. So it's very sporadic hours. Sometimes inconvenient in terms of early mornings, late nights. Like I had some days I was here for 12 hours on campus, but I loved it. So like for me, since I just loved it so much, it didn't feel like work. Like the time would go by so fast. You definitely have to be able to function in a hectic environment, like music's blasting, coaches yelling, athletes are slamming weights. Got to be able to be quick on your feet. And I think honestly, as an intern, the most important thing you could do is just be engaged. Like help clean up even when you're not asked. Ask coaches questions about the programming so you can help the athletes if they have questions or like simple things. Obviously, you're not certified, so you can't give like big coaching cues or programming advice, but just like, hey, like, do you want the athlete to squat below parallel or above parallel? And then you can relay that message to the athlete, stuff like that. Just like try to absorb, be a sponge, learn as much as you can. Like I said before, under my mentor, I work with women's basketball, track, dance, and I've seen him work some one-on-one sessions with some football players. So I got a wide variety of athletes. So really good experience for me. Got it for a solid set of 5, trying to repeat that same performance. Here we go. Oh. All right, moving on to some more hypertrophy style work for the upper body. We got some low to high cable flies. But I think the biggest things I struggled with during my internship was I felt a little bit of imposter syndrome just because like I graduated undergrad a year early, got my CSCS so young. So I was like 21 trying to coach these college athletes. Like, a lot of these college athletes are a lot older than me or the same age. And it felt like I didn't have like enough knowledge, experience to like be giving out coaching cues and correcting stuff. That's just something I had to get out of my head mentally because you, as a coach, you have to be really confident in yourself and be really confident in what you know. Because as soon as your athletes sense that you don't know what you're doing, they're not going to trust you. So that was a big thing I had to hurdle over, talk to my mentor about. And also just like feeling like I didn't even know anything. Like that's part of the imposter syndrome. I felt like I didn't even know what I was talking about half the time, which I did. It all came to a confidence thing, which I've slowly become more confident as I got more coaching hours and experience and gotten better in my own, like within myself. But yeah, so cool enough. Last summer, my mentor, he does like sometimes he helps out high schools around the area, and we were working with this high school, St. Paul's, and the basketball coach at St. Paul saw how I connected with the athletes there, and he wanted me to come over as a basketball coach. But I was like, I'm not really trying to be a basketball coach because that's where my sport history comes from. I played a lot of basketball growing up. I wanted to be a strength coach. So coming into this summer, he reached out again and he said, "Hey, you could be a basketball coach and be my strength conditioning coach for basketball." So I said, "Awesome! I get to wear both hats." So that's what I'm doing now. I'm the strength conditioning coach for St. Paul's basketball, like middle school through high school, and I'm the assistant varsity coach and uh, head JV coach for them. So let's get to the set real quick, and I can elaborate more on my work experience there. I've been with St. Paul since the beginning of May. It's been great. It's really cool because although like keeping the main thing, like I want to continue a career in strength conditioning. Not only does working for this high school give me that experience, leading my own team, I get the program for a team all throughout a year. I get to lead them with my coaching, my voice. But the basketball part is cool, not only because I love basketball, but like being able to wear both hats, it makes you a better strength coach overall because one, just coaching in general, so many things and skills you pick up with that, how to connect with an athlete, how to correct athletes, how to confront people when they're not doing the right thing, stuff like that, how to uplift people. But also, like, since I'm the basketball coach and strength coach, I see what they do in practice, and I can adjust their weight room workouts. So say there's a practice like, man, they're really heavy on the legs, up and down a lot. I'm not gonna do plyos and a lot of really hard stuff on the legs because they just did all that on the court. I'm probably gonna do more isometrics for the legs, more rehab stuff, mobility, and upper body. I can still strengthen the upper body. Or so like say I see my team really struggles with getting physical with other teams, like they're too small, too frail. We can focus on building muscle, building body armor for the athletes. So it's really cool to be able to track their intensities on the court and off the court as a coach. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. Doing that for a year, but that's a little bit of a not a usual route out right when you get your CSCS. Like most people don't become a sports coach and a strength coach. I think my track right there is a little unique. Typically, like you'll do an internship, get your CSCS, then maybe you do another internship, maybe at a bigger school or an internship that's paid. I had an opportunity to do a paid internship, but it just didn't work out with the timeline I was on. They wanted me to move, and I wanted to finish my master's, which I'm still completing this summer. So, but yeah, there's like paid internships, or you go to like a big school, like an SEC school or something, and do an unpaid internship, but learn from like really great coaches there. Um, there's graduate assistant positions, so that's kind of like what I'm doing, but it's like for strength conditioning. So most of the time you're over your own teams and like you're working as a strength coach and you're going to school at the same time. Or you could, if you get really lucky like me, you could find a strength conditioning position. Most times it's gonna be a part-time or assistant position. And as you accumulate years of experience in the field, that's when you start moving up the ranks. Gonna hit the second set now. All right, about to hit my first set. We got some barbell lunges. Just trying to get like 3 to 4 on each leg. Feel a little unstable, but it's just because it's a barbell lunge, so I'm gonna just try to be more controlled next set. Kind of what I was talking about earlier with like strength conditioning jobs. There's a wide spectrum. Like there's a very low floor, but there's also high ceiling. Like there's some strength coaches make 6 figures, 7 figures, and then there's other strength coaches who make like not even 10 grand a year. Definitely depends on just the setting you're in, what division of college you're coaching, whether you're a director, assistant, or you're working in a high school realm. I think long term, what I'm looking at timeline for me is I definitely want to be in a position where I have a job where it's a good work-life balance. Like I don't want to be working 50, 60-hour weeks over 5 teams, because at that point, you're not even giving each team due diligence. You're kind of just everywhere. I really want to have like a job where I have like at max like maybe 3 teams, like one big sport like a volleyball, more like a basketball, a track, volleyball, soccer, and maybe like 2 minor sports like golf, tennis, swim, whatever sports. I really want to be in the collegiate field. Definitely got to work your way up. Like I was saying earlier, is in S&C, like the career field in general, you have to it's all about networking. It's all about who you know. It's like who you know gets you in, and then what you know helps you stay. But a thing about college strength and conditioning is you have to be careful because there is a higher turnover rate in college just because like most of the time when a head coach leaves and a new head coach comes, he might bring his own strength coach with him. Like the whole staff changes. So again, it just depends on what kind of college you're at. Depends on how secure your job is. But yeah, I wanna spend some years in the college realm, work my way up, and just work at start out whatever colleges hire me, start out and just climb my way up, mid-major D1, and hopefully high major D1, and just do it for a little bit, be in the trenches, and then eventually, I think like lifetime goal would be either be in a position where I have like great work-life balance at the college job, and I'm getting paid really well, or doing something where I'm like contracted out to like college and professional athletes. I'm doing more in the private sector. Because I don't really have aspirations to work for like an NBA team if I went professional, just because the turnover rate is really high there too, and like the work-life balance probably sucks. But like instead of working for the Lakers, like LeBron James hires me as his personal trainer, I'd rather do that. But let's move on to this next set. Overall, I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to coach at St. Paul's, and I'm just looking forward to see where God puts me. If it's in His plan for me to be a college strength coach, then hopefully it happens. But if it's in His plan for me to stay in the high school realm, that'd be cool too. Still be able to connect with the youth, inspire them, uplift them, guide them. That's what it's all about, right? Like for me, like improving someone physically is what really drives me, motivates me. But also like seeing people grow just as people, like helping someone with their confidence, helping someone uplift their mood, stuff like that. Like I really love just connecting with people on an emotional level. All right, finish up the workout. We got some back extensions on GHD and some cable rotations. I forgot to mention this earlier, but once I got my CSCS, I got a personal training job. And so I think that really helped me a lot, learning how to coach people one-on-one. So like learning how to coach someone one-on-one first helps you build the confidence to correct someone's form and teach somebody, and then you can start applying that experience into like group settings with like teams. So I definitely think my personal training experience helped me in my coaching, like just practicing coaching. And now I don't work for a commercial gym anymore, but I do like private personal training on the side. So that continues. I experiment with different exercises, exercise prescription, different coaching cues with that. So definitely get into training. Like just train people. Like even if it's not for a job, like train your friends for free. Just practice coaching, practice correcting, programming for people. Um, and I think going from this point on, like still remembering I'm a very young coach. I only have like a year and a half intern experience. This is my first like paid coaching job. Things I want to look to continue to work on and improve is continue to educate myself on exercise science, physiology, um, programming practices. Um, Skill wise, get better at commanding a room, like making sure there's a good flow of traffic. Like my mentor was so good at that. Like he made sure there wasn't one part of the gym that was like overly crowded. Like there was an even like traffic flow of athletes rotating from station to station. So I need to get better at that. Get better at like explaining the program. Get better at commanding the room in general. I think as a young coach, it's really easy for me to connect with the young kids, but at the same time, they may not take me as serious because they see me as a peer versus a coach. So definitely need to have my coaching voice, be confident in my cueing and my coaching and directing. One last thing I want to hit is another thing that I'm really trying to work on is my physical appearance and strength. Like I think as a strength coach, to me, I really do think it's important that the strength coach looks the part. Like if your strength coach is too small, like too skinny, or really big and unathletic looking, like it's going to be really hard for athletes to trust you from a first impression, you know. And I'm speaking from a person who isn't that jacked. So over the course of this year, I think I want to continue to build mass in my frame, continue to get stronger, continue to get more athletic. Because I look like I work out, but I don't look like a strength coach. If you know what I mean? Like I'm not really jacked, or I'm not like jumping 40 inches in the air, running 4 flat, stuff like that. So I'm taking that to myself to continue to become better physically. So I think that also helps with just coaching, helps with buy-in and trust. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue making these videos, document my journey as a strength coach. If you guys like the video, please hit that like button, subscribe. Leave down any comments you have below about becoming a strength coach, getting your CSCS, anything about preparation for that, how to get internships, jobs, or if you have any questions about strength conditioning training itself, leave it down below. Like always, God bless.